Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hello. You have joined us at such a strange time, but nonetheless it would mean the world to me if you could click the subscribe button down below. And of course, if you've been here before, then welcome back again. Please don't forget to click the like button if you are a returning subscriber. I know I said I wanted to keep my channel as an escape from the current situation. However, the topic today I think is very, very important, just because I know that so many people are struggling with mental health, and I know in general people are just struggling during this time. And I generally just feel like not many people want to talk about it, which that's okay. Not everyone wants to talk about this situation. But for me, I have come to terms with being able to talk about my current mental health issues and how to deal with them. So for today's video, I'm going to be giving you a background story on my journey with my mental health and ways that I have been dealing with it during this current situation. And I just wanted to share how I have sort of been dealing with my mental health during lockdown. And I'm hoping that maybe you guys could take some ideas from me on being able to deal with it. I just feel like this is such an important topic, so that's why I thought we'd do this video today. But before we get into the video, I'm going to make myself a drink and I will be right back. So I'm back and I have my cup of tea, and I hope all you guys have gone and grabbed a drink and just settle into this video. I know right now that everyone is struggling, absolutely everyone. However, specifically more people that have mental health. After the announcement of the lockdown, a lot of people that suffer with mental health generally didn't know how they'd cope, and I can safely say that it has definitely been a struggle for myself. So about 2 years ago now, I was clinically diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before. When I first was told this, I was embarrassed. I didn't want to talk about it. I felt like an absolute failure. And it just really hit me hard, because in my head I kind of thought, I have absolutely everything that I could want from life and in my current relationship, and everything like that. And I just thought, why am I feeling like this? Why have I been told that I have depression and anxiety? And it was a struggle. Like, I full on cried when I was told, just because I thought, why is this happening to me? It can't be happening to me. I was put onto medication for the depression, and just like everything, it makes you feel worse before it makes you feel better. And at first I thought, I don't need medication to try and cure me or to help me, like I can do this by myself. But actually I was in a worse state than what I actually first thought. And it's something that I never thought I would suffer with, because you just never think that it's going to happen to you. But there is things that can trigger certain emotions, and I have been someone that has really struggled to deal with certain emotions. I've never really known how to deal with my emotions in certain situations and in life in general. My depression stemmed from a number of things, which I don't really want to go too much into, but it was down to relationships, it was down to life around me and situations, and basically feeling like I was on my own for a very long time. That's where it stemmed from, and it got a lot worse, let's put it there. It did get 10 times worse before it got better. But I am telling you now that it does get better. I was very lucky in the sense that after about 6 months to a year, I decided to come off my medication, which I wouldn't advise unless you speak to your doctor, of course. I felt that I was in a place 6 months to a year down the line where I could manage and cope without taking my medication because I was in a better place. Before I got to that place of stopping taking my medication, I made a couple of life choices that worked out and worked in my favour, absolutely, and I have never looked back, and I am in the most amazing place that I possibly could be right now. But I definitely wouldn't advise coming off medication until you've spoken to your doctor. Absolutely, I'm not saying come off it because it'll make you feel better, because that's not the case. Definitely talk to a medical professional first before doing so. But for me at that time, I thought it would be the best thing to come off my medication, and it was the best decision that I made. It definitely didn't come without its ups and downs, because it absolutely did, but I worked through them and got over them. In regards to my anxiety, me and the doctor decided that we could find ways that we could manage it without being put on medication, because they didn't think that my anxiety level was at a point where I needed to be put on medication. This was definitely reviewed sort of every 4 weeks or so, just to see how it was going and how I was managing it and how I was feeling and sort of all that kind of thing. And I was definitely able to manage it without being put on medication, just because I was reluctant to be put on, obviously, medication for the depression. I didn't want to be putting anything else into my body in which could make me feel 1,000 times worse, doubling up on 2 different medications. So at my doctor's appointment, we spoke about ways of dealing with my anxiety, which I was able to do. Again, it didn't come without its ups and downs. Going into a public place, a crowded place, was definitely probably the hardest thing. I was definitely able to get through those times with having the family support that I had, friend support, and now James's support, because if I didn't, I don't think I would have been able to get over that. But I definitely found a way to manage it. However, at the time before this, it was manageable. However, now I have absolutely struggled, and not so much my depression, because I'm still managing that every single day and I do feel good. But I'm telling you now, it took me a long time to get to where I am today, and I just want to say that you are not on your own. Don't ever feel like you're on your own. Don't ever feel like you have no support or you have no one to talk to, because there is so many people that will sit there and listen, me being one of them, just because I've been in that situation and I know how it feels. However, with the current situation, my anxiety level has gone through the roof, and I'm not ashamed to say that, and I have found it unmanageable, very unmanageable. It has been a living nightmare, and I know there is so much more going on in the world right now that is 10 times worse, but I know a lot of people are feeling the way that I am and have been since this current situation. When the lockdown was announced, a lot of people then realised that their way of dealing with their anxiety or their depression had gone out of the window. I know that it did for me, because for me, a way of dealing with my anxiety and things was to be able to go out and see family and meet friends, go for a walk. I know you still can, but I'd go for hours of just walking. I'd have family to keep me company on certain days, because obviously I used to look after my niece on a Thursday, but obviously that got taken away, and that definitely kept me busy. I'd go into town, do a bit of shopping, retail therapy, and that really helped. But obviously with the current situation, it felt like the floor had literally just been whipped from underneath me. That's how I felt. I generally just felt that I would have no way of being able to manage my feelings, which was hard. A lot of people are struggling, even people without any sort of mental health issues. I know that my partner is struggling. He does have his good days, but then obviously he's having his bad days because he's so used to a routine of getting up, going to work, coming home, and then in the evenings being able to do as we please, whether it just be pop to the shop or go for a walk or go to the pub or go and meet friends, go and see family. Like, when that is your norm, it does become a struggle for normal people. And obviously a lot of people are worrying about money, how they're going to survive financially. I know there's certain things in place from the government, however that's still not enough for some people, and it has put a lot of pressure on absolutely everyone. And it is sad to think that so many people are going through this, and they may even develop some sort of mental health issue or problem after this has all happened. And it is the worst time when I know a lot of people are on their own. They don't have anyone that lives with them. And that upsets me because I am very lucky in the sense that I have James here currently in lockdown with me, because we thought that that was the best decision to make at the time. And I do have obviously Summer, which I am very thankful for because she does keep me busy a lot of the time. But there is a lot of people that don't have anyone, or they don't have their partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, mums, dads if they've moved out, or they were seeing someone and they didn't think it was right for them to be in isolation and lockdown with them, which that's okay. It is a struggle on people, absolutely everyone. Like, I cannot stress this enough that absolutely everyone is struggling. I know that, but I think it's definitely a lot more pressure on people that are suffering with mental health. So with my anxiety, I think I mentioned in a video before this one that I was suffering really bad physically with my anxiety. I was having heart palpitations, I was having pain, hot sweats. I was really going through it. I think it was a case of everything sort of hit me at once. It scared me because the one way that I like to think that I deal with my anxiety is knowing that I am in control of whatever situation is in front of me. However, this one I am absolutely not in control of. I have no control over the situation, because if I did, I would take it away, and it's not. So I had a bit of an episode and it did result in having to ring a doctor. I am now fine. I have found ways to deal with it now, which I will go through. The things that have really triggered my anxiety during isolation is the fact that a simple trip to the supermarket isn't a simple trip anymore. There is so much preparation that I go through to go to the supermarket, and when I come back, that it makes me super anxious when I know I have to go and do my food shop. Yes, me and James take it in turns to go, but when I go, I get really worked up and I have to calm myself down before I am able to go. Even simple things as going for a walk, because you know it sounds irrational, but I think, who has walked in my footsteps before? Have they coughed in the air? Because I think I may be wrong, and please do check and correct me if I'm wrong, but if anyone coughs into the air, it lasts in the air for up to 3 hours, I think, but please do check that and don't quote me on it. So that goes through my head. I'm constantly thinking, has someone walked in my footsteps before? Have they coughed? Is it still lingering? Has it been longer than 3 hours? And it doesn't make my walk enjoyable anymore. So we try and limit a walk to every couple of days, just because that is the process that goes into my head. I then have things to worry about when Summer is going to and from her dad's, making sure that she is washing her hands coming to and from each other's houses, taking off the clothes that she's had on and putting them straight into the wash, and then getting fresh clothes out for her. Yes, it seems completely irrational, but for someone that suffers with anxiety, it is what feels like the necessary steps to keep yourself safe. When the food comes in from the supermarket, we wipe them all down before we put them away. I'm constantly cleaning door handles, cupboards, kitchen sides, floors. I know hoovering's not going to do much. Spraying stuff onto the carpet that lifts germs and viral and bacteria and all things like that. That is a process that I go through, not necessarily every day, but every couple of days I am doing some form of cleaning to make sure that we are safe. And it is horrendous, and it did take over such a big part of my day. But we have found some ways to manage my anxiety. So that is something that I would like to share with you guys, in the hopes that maybe some of the ways that I am dealing with my anxiety is a way that maybe can help you as well. So one of the first things that I started to do when we first went into lockdown and it hadn't quite processed was I started drawing again. So I'm not amazing by all means. I am not an artist. I have never really been into art, but it was a way of, for maybe an hour, a few hours, or however long, that my brain would actually not be thinking about the current situation, and all my focus would be on one drawing. I will pop up a couple of pictures that I am proud of. By all means, they are not amazing, but I am proud of what I done in those couple of days with the drawings that I've done. So that is one way that I started to deal with things at the beginning. It really did help for those couple of days, which I am so thankful for. Another thing that I find seems to help with my anxiety levels is decluttering a room at a time. And I know it sounds really silly, but I feel like setting myself a goal every day, whether it's a big goal, small goal, even if it's just a simple task as doing the laundry or putting shoes away or something like that, knowing that once you've done it, you've got a sense of an achievement. But I find that decluttering a room at a time, you are, one, getting rid of everything that you no longer need. Two, you're having a really, really deep clean. And three, you just feel really organised and everything just feels fresh. And for that hour or 2 hours or however long it takes you to declutter one room, you are not thinking about the outside world. You're not thinking about what's going on. You're not thinking about everything and anything. You are just focusing on that one room, and at the end, that end goal of it being finished and complete. Like, you cannot beat that sense of achievement. You just can't. And I feel like that has definitely helped me over the last 5 weeks or so, where I think I'm pushing on to my 6th week almost, because I started to isolate a week before we were actually put into full lockdown. So I think I'm almost on to my 5th, I think it's my 5th week, but by the time this goes up, I think I'll be in my 6th, pushing on to my 6th. So I have found that decluttering is a way of dealing with my anxiety. Another thing that I find helps with my anxiety, and it could even help with things like depression and keeping your mind open and refreshed and just feeling a sense of calm, is doing a home workout. It doesn't have to be something that's completely crazy or too much of a hard work or too vigorous. You can literally do like a 15-minute workout, and by the end of it you are feeling great. Your body will feel amazing, your mind will feel refreshed and open and ready for the day. I definitely feel like this has helped me with both sides of things, because there are days that I have actually suffered with my depression, but I'm able to manage it without medication. Again, like I said, if you feel like you cannot manage it or you haven't spoke to your doctor, then obviously do not stop taking medication, because you were taking that for a reason. But I feel like doing a workout gets the blood pumping, and I feel like it really gets you set for the day, and in that time you're having fun at the same time. It could be like a dance workout, upper body workout, leg workout, it could be absolutely anything. In that time you are just sort of pressing the reset button, and you are getting ready for the day to have a good day. Another thing I have found that definitely has helped is definitely getting out of the house and going for that hour's walk that you are allowed every day. Like I said at the beginning, I don't tend to go for my walk every day just because I feel like if I do, it triggers my anxiety even more. So we tend to do it every couple of days, and we go for that full hour's walk, and it's just nice to take in the beauty of where we live, with it being so quiet, and it is calming and it is relaxing, and it's just nice to get a bit of fresh air when you are stuck in 24 hours of the day if you are not going out at all for any form of exercise outside. I definitely suggest going for a walk if and when you can, even if it's not every day and it is every couple of days because it's a trigger for you. Then I definitely say keep to every couple of days and make sure you do that full hour's walk to press that reset button and just take in the beauty around us. A walk that we do every couple of days, we've seen baby ducks that have been born, and there's also a swan nest which has 9 eggs which are ready to hatch anytime now. Another thing that I have found really helps with both depression and anxiety is staying connected. This is something that is so important, because if you fully cut yourself off from everyone, then you are going to struggle, and it's not going to get any easier, and it's not going to get any better. Yes, you may not be able to go and physically see a family member or a friend, but there's things like FaceTime, WhatsApp, Zoom, where you can have multiple group chats for 40 minutes and you are staying connected, you're having that conversation. I know for me that being able just to ring my mum and being able to physically see her, I know I can't physically see her in person or be able to hug her or anything like that, but I am still staying connected. I am still being able to talk to my mum, my sisters, my grandparents especially, friends. Do not cut yourself off fully. You feel like you need someone to talk to, ring a friend. They're probably feeling the same. Ring your mum, ring your dad, ring your auntie, uncle, whoever. Just stay connected. Do not cut yourself off. Otherwise, you are just going to go into a downward spiral and you're just going to feel like you're fully on your own, and that is not the case. So staying connected, I feel, is very important and is something that has really helped me get through this time and this situation. Another thing that I have found that really helps with my anxiety, and this is something I looked into when I started having the physical effects of my anxiety. So I have taken up meditation. At first it felt really strange, but after a while I found that it really does start to help. So again, in my previous video I spoke about an app that I downloaded called Calm. You get a 7-day free trial, and then after that you have to pay £28.99 for the whole year, which I don't think is too bad. It's £2.46 a month if you work it out. They do just take the whole payment out straight away, but when you look at it like that and you break it down, it is only £2.46 a month. And it is one of the best apps that I have downloaded. There is so much on there, and it really has helped me deal with my anxiety. So there's like 7 days of calming anxiety. There's so many categories: stress, mindfulness, sleep, anxiety, anger. There is just so much, and there is 7-day things to go through, like meditation sessions. There is stretches you can do. There is 10 to half an hour meditation sessions that you can do. There is calming music. There is bedtime stories, or just stories that you can listen to throughout the day. You can check in with how you're feeling. You can do breathing exercises, which I think is absolutely amazing. And I make sure that when I wake up in the morning, I do a meditation session, I do a morning stretch, and I do a breathing exercise, and that gets me set for the day. It puts me in that right mindset. During the evening, when obviously you are starting to wind down and you find that you are floating away with your thoughts and it creates anxiety, I find that opening this app in the evening, and when I'm trying to go to sleep, putting in my earphones, listening to a bedtime story or listening to the music that is on there, and before I know it, I am asleep and I am not thinking about anything, and I just feel amazing, because Before I had the app, I was not sleeping. I would go into pure panic mode and I'd start having the physical effects and I'd be up. It would be keeping me up through the night. I would get into bed about 10 o'clock and I would not be going to sleep until 4:15. And then by the time I'm falling asleep, it's time to get up again. And I didn't feel refreshed. I felt tired. I felt sluggish. I felt absolutely rubbish for the next day. And I just felt like the anxiety had carried through until the morning, which is what I didn't want. So since downloading this app and taking up meditation, it has 100% helped. I'm not feeling as anxious as I was at the beginning. I still have my moments, but I can manage it by just stopping and doing a breathing exercise and then carrying on. It is the most amazing thing that I ever did to help with my anxiety during this time, because I'm unable to do some things that really did just ease everything. But I will link the app down below if I can, so that you guys can check it out, because it is one of the most amazing things ever. Like, I absolutely love it. Like, it is one of the best things that I could have done to help me. There is a couple of other things. I feel like I'm rambling now, but you can do things like baking. Baking takes up a lot of time and you can also get creative with it. And a lot of people find it very therapeutic with baking. There are things like taking the time to do things that you didn't have time to do before. So this could be having a spring clean, sorting out clothes that you have said time and time again that you'll sort out and you haven't done. And you just put it off. Now is the perfect time to do that. Again, it does take up a lot of time, but we have all the time in the world, and again, it will just take your mind off everything. There are things like redecorating a room if you already have supplies at home, whether that just be a fresh lick of paint, upcycling some old furniture, having a move around, like moving utensils and things around in a room or a kitchen or a bathroom, just makes it look like a completely different space anyway. So that is another thing that you could do. Also, another thing could be doing a online course. Again, it could be something that you really wanted to do, but you just didn't have the time to do it before. And with being able to do a online course, obviously in the name, you can do it all online. So that is another thing that you could consider doing, and it would actually be beneficial in the long run. So that is going to conclude the end of this video. I feel like I've really rambled on, and I kind of feel like I've probably repeated myself and not realised. I just wanted to do this video to let you know that you are not on your own. So many people are going through it and are struggling. Just know that there is people out there that you can talk to if you feel like you can talk to somebody. I can personally say that being able to talk to people about how I feel, which is something that I could never do before, does help, whether it just be a friend or my mum or, you know, James, or even talking to Summer. Like, she really just brightens up my day every single day and does take my mind off everything. She really does just keep me entertained. I just wanted to give you some ideas of how I've dealt with my anxiety specifically, and ways that it could probably work for depression as well during this time. Yeah. So I wanted to share these ideas with you that I have in ways that I deal with specifically my anxiety. It could be used in context with depression. But I just wanted to set them out there in the hopes that maybe some of these ideas will help you guys. Again, if you feel like you're struggling, please do leave a comment down below. My inbox is always open to people if you feel like you can't talk to anyone close to you. I am here to listen. I have been through it. I have struggled, and I would hate to think that there are people out there that think they're on their own. I think I'm going to stop rambling now because I feel like I have rambled on for ages now. I really do hope that you have enjoyed this video. Just a reminder to stay safe and stay home, and I will see you in a brand new video very soon. Bye.